Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're gonna talk all about mental health. Yep, even the thunder approves. Okay, so initially my plan was to post a video about goals. So by the way, Happy New Year! Happy New Year! It isn't New Year, it's 2023 already. Crazy. So obviously initially I wanted to do a video about the goals that I have for the year, which is hopefully still coming. But today I was thinking how I want to be, how I want to record, and I was not doing well mentally, and I decided to do a video about mental health. I didn't want this channel to just be all about, I didn't want it to feel distant. Obviously it's gonna be real and raw. I'm just gonna share whatever that is happening, and even if it means sharing what's happening in the moment. And so I'm gonna talk about mental health because it's something I'm battling, something I've been battling, and I think that most of us can relate. I didn't know that I had a panic disorder. So I was diagnosed with panic disorder last year. So I struggle with panic attacks. They just come out of nowhere. They just happen. I remember the first time it happened for me was in 2019. I was doing my first year, and it was around exam time, and I just remember one day hanging. I think I was recording a video for Vibes. I don't remember what I was doing, but I know I was doing something, I think. And I was in my room, and my roommate had a roommate at that time, and I was just feeling weird, and my heart started beating, and I was struggling. I remember I was struggling with breathing. I was like, I can't breathe, and I thought maybe I needed to eat, but that wasn't the case because I knew I wasn't hungry, or I just eaten, something like that, or maybe I got food. I don't remember, but I knew that I wasn't hungry, and I knew that it wasn't food. So I just struggled, I remember, and then it just stopped, and I was like, okay. And then I just remember feeling down and just surprised with what my body had just done. I was just like, I don't know what just happened. That was weird. Then the second time, I think it was the same day or something like that, it happened. I had to do a school assignment. We were recording a film, and I remember on my way just struggling with breathing, and I thought it's maybe because I was running or walking, I don't know. I think that's what I thought. And then I got to the bathroom, and I was just trying to take a breath. I remember panicking, like, what is happening? I remember calling my roommate, like, it's happening again. And I started crying. So yes, that's what happens. I cry as well. And then I was like, something is off. And then I remember rushing to the campus health at the school at Wits. And I was told that I had just had a panic attack. And I was like, a panic attack? Who? Like, that? I don't do it. I don't do that. It's not mine. Thanks. I was just like, fine, thank you. But they're like, no, it was a panic attack. And I had coffee that day, and I was told to avoid caffeine. If I'm not, yes. I remember I had coffee, and they're like, avoid caffeine, and it's exam time, so you need to be careful. That was a panic attack. They gave me medication to help me to stay calm. And that was the beginning. And I remember thinking, okay, weird, I'm sick. But as time went along, I continued to have multiple panic attacks when I got home. After that exam season, we went home for the holidays, and I continued to have multiple meltdowns. I called them meltdowns. I was just crying. There were definitely things happening in my life around that time that contributed to the stress that I had. Part of it being financial issues at home. We just had issues at home, and that contributed a lot to my mental state. And I'll talk more about my life in one of my videos. Long story short, I was like, something is off, but I didn't do anything about it until I studied the Bible. And my mentor Kate spoke to me, and she's like, you you're having multiple panic attacks now. It's like, have you checked it out, I remember when I was on my way to work one day, two things that made me very concerned. So one day I was running to the train, it was about to leave me, shocking. And so I ran and I got in the train, and it was still COVID, so I had a mask on. And I remember struggling to breathe, and I was like, okay. I thought, okay, I'm unfit. I gotta work out. But I'm still breathing, and I'm like, kind of what's going on? And I'm still breathing. Next minute, my heart is racing, and I'm like, dun, dun. And then eventually I start crying, and I'm like, oh, okay. I got to Joburg, and I went to the bathroom at the train station. I just started crying, and I was like, something was wrong. I think maybe the final straw might have been at work when I was on set, and we were shooting a scene. It was a funny scene, like a like a funny scene, a good scene, And I'm so grateful I had Gere on set with me, who played Gugu, or plays Gugu on Generation, and she was on set with me. So I'm very grateful for her, because she was a great support, just checking on me. And I just remember having a panic attack. I remember in between, literally when they would yell cards or whatever, I'd just cry, and I'm breathing, and they're like, action, and I wipe away my tears, and I just start doing my thing. And I was like, yeah, that's not the way to live. So eventually I was like, it's time to book an appointment with a psychiatrist, which I had already done before. And then I think it was that time, but I was diagnosed with, in 2020, I was diagnosed. No, in 2021, I was diagnosed. So the psychiatrist told me, okay, I'm listening to my symptoms. I have a panic disorder, but it's mild, which I'm very grateful for. And so I was like, okay. And they're like, so we have medication, but we also have therapy treatment. And I was like, yeah, can you give me the therapy treatment? I'm not trying to be this druggie or, Now, that was ignorance of me, and I admit. And I was just afraid of taking medication. I didn't want to rely on that. And I wanted to find another way outside of medication, just to make sure that I did what I could before I went that route. And so our route, we say route, before I went that route. And then eventually, when I continued to have panic attacks, I was like, okay, let me follow up with the therapy treatment. And the psychiatrist was like, I really strongly suggest that you take medication, and it's worked for people, and etc. And I was just like, so there was no other way out of it. But my goal, so I am currently taking medication. Oh, now is another story. I need to go get more. Amen. But I'm taking medication for my mental health. And so they gave me 2 types of medication. One to take every morning or every day. And the other one is to take when I'm struggling with anxiety within the moment. Like today I had to take that one because the other one had ran out, and I was struggling. I woke up just feeling heavy and sad and weird. And I spent my mornings with God. So I was able to spend my morning with God. I was able to put my heart. But I just felt this heaviness. I was just like, it's one of those days, And I was just like, hey man, I need to really go after taking care of my mental health, because to my shame, I was delaying it. I was like, I know I need to call the doctor so I can get medication. I was delaying it, and I was not taking it serious. So eventually I was like, okay, I need to do it. So I called. But the point is, I am very grateful that I was able to see the psychiatrist, because the medication really helps. It helps me a lot. Some chemical things are happening in the brain. It's let me just say, I don't know how to explain it technically, medically. When I do have those anxiety attacks, I can feel depressed after that. I just feel down. I just feel like it's bad. Right after the attack, and unless I am able to stop it in time or early enough, then I'm able to fight. But I'm grateful because I've had practicals that help me as well. Like when I know that my anxiety attack is about to come, my heart is pacing, so we breathe in, we breathe out, we breathe in, we breathe out, and also praying helps me to release whatever it is that's making me anxious. Usually I have triggers. and then I have to work through whatever it is that triggered me. But something that I actually learned, which was so interesting, is about the panic attacks, like what happens in your brain when you're having a panic attack. And it's so incredible to hear how God created, like just seeing how God created the brain, and just it's so, like, it sounds so intricate and complicated, like the A goes to the H to the Zimara, then the body's like, let's do, like, it literally communicates with each other, like the body is one. And it's just so inspiring to see how God created us. And it's almost like a parallel, like looking at that example and looking at his church. It's like the body functions when communicating with each other and when the body has one goal. And just with the church, if you're in a church that is not communicating one goal and going after one thing, then something is off. That's not the body. Another topic. But the point is that I was just really mind blown to see, wow, God, like, I'm blown away to see how you've created us. Like, you are incredible. And I'm reminded of the scripture in 2 Corinthians 12, verse 7 to 10, where Paul is talking about a thorn in his flesh. We don't know if it was physical, we don't know if it was mental, we don't know, but he had a thorn in his flesh, and he begged God for it to be taken away, like, please get this. And I don't know, maybe some of you can relate, like, God, take away my anxiety, God, take away my depression, take away my PTSD, take away my border personality disorder, please take away my multiple personality disorder. I think it's the same thing. Please take away this, please take away that. You know, we can really struggle, you know, and really try to beg God to take away those parts of who we are, but we forget that God allowed us to be those people for a reason. And Paul ends up seeing, like, okay, I see why you're not taking this away, because you're helping me to not be conceited, because we can be conceited in ourselves. If I was not struggling with mental illness, or if I did not have any flaws, I'd be like, you know, I think I'm cool. I don't know why I'm only wearing my glasses and I was late, but I think I'm cool. I think I don't need God. Like, everything is fine. Beautiful. But because of the flaws, I'm forced, or I'm in a position where I am vulnerable, and I'm like, okay, I need to go to God. There's nothing I can do. I need to go to God in order to overcome. And so I'm very grateful, because it helps me to rely on God, and to see how Paul did that. He's like, you know, in the scripture it talks about where you're weak, God is strong. And if I did not have any weaknesses, I wouldn't be able to share how I'm able to get through these things with God, to glorify God, to show God's strength through my weaknesses. Like, I'm only capable of being or getting through such because I'm going through it with God, and I'm not doing it independently. And I will confess that I do at times try to rely on myself, and it always, it just always comes back in my face, and it's like, what were you trying? What were you doing? Sometimes I stop my anxiety attack and I don't deal with what caused me to be anxious, and then it builds up, and the next anxiety attack that I get is almost unbearable. Like, to a point where while I'm having the panic attack, I'm just begging God to take it away. I'm just like, God, I'm so anxious, please just, it's so bad, guys. I remember when I used to record Yo TV, which I love so much, but when I used to record it, I was so anxious, guys. With the anxiety, like, I was very anxious, and over the time I did get comfortable, but I was always anxious before the show. And I mean, it's good to be nervous. It shows that something is really important. But no, I was anxious, guys. But I say all of this to say, ultimately, mental health issues, that's not a curse. It's not a curse. In fact, it's a blessing, because you get to learn about yourself, and you get to learn about God in ways that you wouldn't be able to learn about him if you did not have those mental illnesses. You know, I wouldn't know, like, God created my body to protect itself from fear, and I wouldn't know how detailed God is, and I wouldn't even understand how comforting God is, because I'm able to go to him to be comforted. I wouldn't know any of that if I did not embrace where I am, and if I did not go to get checked up. So I want to encourage you guys, study the Bible, because ultimately that is the way out. But secondly, it's so important to go get checked. Go to a psychiatrist, go to a therapist, go get checked. Go make sure that you don't have anything, and if you do have anything, that you're doing everything you can to take care of your health. Search videos on how to maintain or how to cope with the the different illnesses that you have. And something that I've learned a lot is that I've been told is that you need to take responsibility of your mental health. No one should want to help you more than yourself. You're gonna expect someone to be more desperate for you. That's it. Ain't nobody gonna be desperate for you. You need to be desperate for yourself. Yes, you'll have people support you, be there for you, guide you, and I have that. I'm very grateful. But you need to be desperate. You need to be responsible in this area, because it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous. And because I'm able to detect it, I'm able to give my heart in everything I do. Because now I know, okay, this is the area, this is what I need to do, and I'm able to be very alert, and I'm able to give my heart. And so yeah, I just came here to share about my mental health, and hopefully you guys can share about your different kind of diagnosis. Maybe you haven't been diagnosed, maybe you haven't seen someone about your mental health, you're thinking about it, maybe you want to study the Bible, reach out. I'm here. But I'm here to say, please take care of your mental health. 2023, let us go in there mentally strong. And not every day is going to be amazing. Like today for me wasn't amazing, but I'm grateful I was still able to be productive and not just wallow around. So thank you so much for watching. I'm very grateful. And thank you so much for even watching the previous videos and your comments. I'm very, very grateful for that. Please do share. Please do subscribe. Please do comment. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe. Yeah, all of them. Do the things. Thank you very much. I'm very loving of you, and I'm very thanking of you.